You know what it was, Kyle? You know, remember post-show last week when we were talking to Wendigoon, and you said, I was talking to Taylor, and we both agreed that we would not do a joke about selling our soul to the devil.
Yeah. I wanted to do a bit on the show where Woody sold his soul to the devil, but I didn't even suggest it to him because I was like, I know that he's an atheist, but he wouldn't sell his soul to an like, all right, here, imagine this is the bit. A guest comes on the show, and he has sent Woody the paperwork already, and there's a Lancet in there and everything. He's got to prick his thumb, put a bloody fucking thumbprint on a real contract that says that this man, as an arbiter for Satan himself, gains access to Woody's eternal soul. And it's a well-written contract and everything. I wouldn't sign the contract, is what I'm saying. I wouldn't go through with it. I will
sell you my soul for a crisp $20 bill every week.
You know,
I'll just make it a recurring.
That's the Halloween episode. We got to find someone to buy his soul.
Kyle, you want to go in on split Woody's soul? $10.
I so want to buy his soul. Let's both give him $10, and we will be co-owners of his soul.
What if, like, immediately our lives improve and his collapse? Like immediately.
Your bench goes up 75 pounds. You're like, what happened?
Well, that makes sense. God. You guys would have split mine. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just get more powerful in every way. But every week, Woody looks like the guy from Thinner. He's just like becoming tiny. Yeah. Like the crypt. He's turning into the Crypt Keeper a week. He's
looking more and more like a Mexican alien every single week, just kind of crisping up and fading away. Just eyes sinking further and further into his skull.
Like, hey, about that soul, and we're like, I don't have it with me. You know, I'll remember next week, and we don't remember next week.
It'll be like when we get to the pearly gates. It's like if our soul gets declined, we can be like, really? Let me check my wallet. Try this one. And they'll be like, this is an even worse half of a soul. It belongs to the devil. What are you doing with this guy? And it's like, oh, well, you're right. I guess I don't want... we shouldn't bring his soul to heaven.
Yeah, we'll leave it here.
If we
probably should sell it to the devil at some point if we're going to be the owners of the soul ourselves. I wanted to find...
I don't want to be involved in a devil deal. I can't help
I think... Well, it's Woody's soul we're giving them. It's not ours. You know, if it were that, then I wouldn't.
Yeah, but God's going to know that we were middlemaning for the devil.
God's going to know that we purchased Woody's soul. I don't think that we're getting out of this.
I think that the reason we purchase it is to keep him from selling it to Satan. Would Woody rather have his soul possessed by the Lord of Darkness or two retards? Clearly, us.
I
wouldn't do anything with it. I'd put it in my...
the whole thing.
You want to actually sell? Oh, well, I was being more benevolent. I was thinking I would take my half of the soul contract, put it in there in my safe.
In the business of flipping souls, it would seem.
You're going to make a cool
that's exactly what I thought.
$15
this is
The Simpsons did this first.
This is capitalism.
Yeah, the Simpsons did do this.
Here we have Woody,
Bart
who has no interest in his soul. He finds it to have zero value. And here we have Satan, who finds nothing to be more valuable. You know, it seems like you want to be that
need to cut out the middleman. Maybe I'll get rid of my gray hair.
What would actually happen is we would get bamboozled by the devil because he's smarter than we are. And he would get us by virtue of the fact that we sold the soul to him. He'd be like, now you've lost your souls also. 3 for 1 for him.
Too late, fucker.
Too late?
I don't know if it's an unpopular opinion. You're thinking about the devil.
I already sold mine.
I think Johnny plays the fiddle better than the devil. No, I have that backwards.
Everyone knows that
beat Johnny.
The devil plays better than Johnny. Everyone knows the devil plays better than Johnny. Mostly because he has accompaniment. Those demons and then a band of demons joined in, and it sounded a little something like this. And they fucking play, and it's like, oh, that sounds pretty good. But when the devil hits his lick, it's like, that's a way cleaner, longer, better lick than what Johnny hit. It's definitely superior.
When that song is performed, does the same person do both parts?
Charlie Daniels. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I had it in my head. There were like 2 fiddlers on stage. One was clearly better.
Charlie Daniels is known as a very good fiddler, as you might imagine, since he actually has the whole song about the thing. Is he dead? He's a fit guy. You know, I remember that. I remember him being very svelte, very, very long and slender. No,
I thought he was a big fat fiddler who was from olden times.
Yeah.
So I would not sell my soul to the devil. That seems like there's nothing to gain there, and a whole lot to lose.
There he is.
Your soul.
Down here, rising up your bow and play your fiddle hard. Yeah, that's good stuff.
Hope he's alive.
He looks like he's alive.
Good for him. Rocking it.
Oh no, he died in 2020. Now I look better.
Oh, was it COVID?
That's a good question. But
He doesn't look like the kind of guy who'd line up for a vaccine.
I bet it was pretty much heart disease is the easiest layup. Pretty much everybody dies of that.
I remembered him being heavier, but in that photo Zach showed there, he looks. For those of you who don't know, Charlie Daniels Band. Check him out on YouTube. Some country music from the.
Taylor, I'm going to
90s.
ask you to pronounce this for me.
Hemorrhagic stroke.
I made a good choice.
So he had a brain hemorrhage.
Yeah.
Man, that sucks for him. The devil finally took him to the great beyond.
Maybe you made it that the devil got him. We don't know.
I don't know. Did he sell his soul to the devil? I don't know anything about this guy other than the last 45 seconds of you guys talking about him.
You don't know the song. You don't know the lyrics of the song? The story of the song?
I know.
Well, we should probably move along.
Then.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Well, who was that guy?
Let us down again.
Who is the fucking black guy who sold his soul to the devil in the old
Oh brother, where art
legend? Robert something. Where there's he was the best fiddler ever, and in the early 1900s he sold his soul to the devil to be the best fiddler, which is I would ask for more. I wouldn't do it, but if someone consulted me on it, I would say ask for more than that, dude.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I do know in the movie Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, which is a great movie, the black kid they picked up just had sold his soul to the devil at a crossroads, like a crossroads demon, to play the guitar. And and he
I have
tells
seen that movie, so that must be what I'm thinking.
Son, you sold your eternal soul. It's fucking great. That's a good movie. Oh, last night I was in my backyard smoking a double doink, and it was dark. I mean, dark. And I hear a bird flying. I can hear it going. It's close enough that I can hear its wings in the air, and then it crashes into the tree. That's and I can't see it because it's so dark. It crashes into the tree just real close to me, and it's in there, and it goes. Dude, I got so scared. I ran back in the house and closed the door behind me.
Dogs are pawing at the door. Let me in.
I was like, don't let the little dog go out there. I heard a big bird land in that tree. I was like, I don't know how
it might have technically been a raptor. So you made a good call.
Mm-hmm. It sounded like a big fucking owl or something that would scoop up his little ass and peck him.
Very silent wings is not an owl.
Well, okay, not an owl. Perhaps some sort of eagle or hawk. Or maybe it was a monster. I don't know. Maybe it was one of the demons I've been asking for a while. Me and Satan over there.
Be wary with that.
I was telling we were playing poker, and I told those guys that you had agreed at one point, Woody, to sell your soul to me, and they were like, yeah, that's fine. I'm like, no. He said that I could bring like a demon, like a Satanist on board to be the middleman, sort of the notary. I would show up with like a demonic notary public, basically, like a guy to
one.
Yeah. No, a real one. A real
one. My bad. I'm crazy.
Yes. I want him to do the real rituals or whatever. I want you to prick your thumb and maybe sign in blood or something, make an X in blood for us, and have a whole contract. And when I explained to them that you're willing to do that, they were all like, I would never do that. I would never do that. Everyone I've told this to, and again, just to be clear what the scenario is, a person who believes in the devil and worships them is going to show up with some old-timey fucking scroll and shit, and you are going to swear to give them their soul in exchange for something and sign in blood and give it back to them. And you have no reservations, not even a little.
No. Imagine this. Imagine I had a quarter in my palm, right? And you were going to use all the satanic tricks that you could think of so that when I turned my hand over, that quarter wouldn't fall, right? Everything. You bring out a real Satanist, you sign in blood, all this. Do you think that quarter will fall when I turn my hand
Completely different scenario. We're not talking about moving quarters. We're talking about bargaining your soul, another intangible thing that may exist as far as we know.
Yes.
But if this thing had any power, he'd be able to keep a quarter afloat.
No, if it had any power over material objects in our dimension, it would. But I'm talking about your everlasting soul if it exists, and we don't know if it exists.
Yeah, you could be selling your soul for a fucking piece
We're
of pizza.
talking about the thing that is you that might live on for eternity being sold to a demon who wants it.
Confident that this doesn't exist. This isn't real.
I'm not.
I'm not either. I think it definitely is. Like it's not.
Oh, this is there's no soul. There's no magic.
Your parents would never do this.
Your parents wouldn't do this, and the vast majority of people throughout history believed in this stuff. Like,
yes, that is true. I will admit the vast majority of people in history believed in spiritual whatever, because there's things that we
the vast majority of people today believe in it.
Yeah, most people today believe in that.
It's carries over, right? They're from before they could talk, they were brainwashed with that.
Look at Woody here. He knows something nobody else has ever known. Nobody knows today.
Isaac Newton. Isaac Newton, a fool because he believed in Christ. Yeah.
Einstein wasn't real.
There's no way I would sign a blood contract with a person who was actually a demon fucking worshiper. Like
I wouldn't do it with anyone. No chance. No way.
You know, would you? I mean, I've heard you jokingly invite Lord Satan into your heart and soul. So you need to be careful about that too.
Only joking.
Are you like doing one of these, like under the table?
I'm doing fingers crossed, and I would never, in sincerity, do something like that.
Yeah, that's you making the crucifix to protect yourself.
Yeah, the spirit worlds, afterlife, all that shit. It can't remotely be true.
Wow.
I mean, you are in the vast minority if you don't believe in any afterlife. The vast minority.
So you don't think there's anything supernatural at all ever?
Right.
Like there's no soul, no spirit.
When
no
you
angels,
die, the energy, the calories that your body has gets re-released into the universe.
So you think we're only material, nothing more?
Right. And I'm like wildly confident that there's nothing after this.
I feel like even physicists aren't wildly confident about the fabric of reality. Like they're always talking about dark energy and dark matter. And like, what is it? And it's like, don't even think of it as energy or matter, and certainly don't think of it as dark. It's some stuff that we can measure but not quantify. It's a thing we can see but never touch, and it exists in greater quantities than anything that you can see and touch. And you're like, holy fuck, is there like? Well, that's worrying to me.
Like and when you think like if a demon wanted to harm you, and like let's for the sake of argument say like demons, angels, religion, all that 100% true, like there would be no incentive for a demon to keep a quarter glued to your palm. What it would want to do is what it says they'd want to do in the Bible, which is convince you that it's not real and to live for yourself and to do whatever you want all the time. And then you awaken into the afterlife in hell because it's not, that's one thing that some movies do get right about like the devil and demons and everything. And many get wrong is like, they aren't trying to bring brimstone into your kitchen and scare you to God. They would be trying to convince you that you had all you needed and your own faculties were the only thing you ever needed to rely on. And just keep living, get to the end of that life and it'll be nothing. And then it's not nothing. Like that would be the incentive for the demon, not to glue something to your hand like a
he doesn't want to do a magic show to give you faith.
Yeah.
He can't.
Well, then why doesn't God do a magic show to give you faith?
Because then what would be the point of faith? That's not faith. That's knowledge.
I mean, oh my God. It seems like we just keep making up rules along the way.
No, we're defining the word faith.
Lack of evidence.
No, we're defining the word faith.
Right? Like there's never been evidence of this throughout all of history of mankind, but everyone believes in it, and that's why everyone believes in it.
Well, I'm not trying to defend religion. I'm just explaining why you can't have faith with proof. Like that's
like the purpose of it. Kyle's right. Like faith isn't faith if you're just watching a demon glue something to your palm.
It seemed like before everyone had cell phones with cameras in our pocket, like in Jesus's day, he was doing parlor tricks all the time. He's turning water into wine. He's walking on water. He's doing shit all the time. Nowadays, we've rewritten it, and it's, oh yeah, you know what? You got to believe in nothing. That's what faith is. Not
really. Like it's. I mean, he said like he was the final kind of revelation, Jesus. Like he was there and he was like, and I'm leaving. And
no, I'm with you on the parlor tricks.
The church
I'm 100% with you on the parlor tricks, and I don't believe. Just to be clear, I'm like 99% atheist on this, probably or agnostic at least. Like I kind of like the idea that maybe all those stories are based on something that happened. Like I don't know, maybe some fucking 4-dimensional being like from the Third Body Problem that
Con Man.
I mean, Con Man's most likely for sure, but then again, there's like stories and tales that match up from lots of civilizations that kind of look weird.
Yeah.
But what I would suggest, if there's anyone out there who has any sort of demonologist or Satan worshiping or soul notary public transfer experience or skills, if you've got, you better have a Necronomicon or some kind, like a book. You better have a book. I want a scroll. I want quills. And I want you to be, I don't want you to look like Susie Homemaker. Like, yeah, we're Wiccan. No, get your fucking girlfriend's weird hobbies out of here. I want the devil man to show up. Not that guy who's talking about Gaia and the fucking earth spirit. I want a dude that wants to invite Lord Satan into his heart. He does it every night, every morning. I want someone who knows something about blood sacrifice. If we can get them on the show, I want to buy Woody's soul because I'm worried about my own. And I feel like if I've got his in my back pocket.
I do not want to do a show with a fucking Satanist. That's disgusting.
No, only
I need him to. You really don't want to like be part of me buying Woody's soul?
No, I want nothing to do with demons and Satan. No way. What's the trade-off there?
Well, I think it'd be very entertaining, and I get Woody's soul potentially.
What are you going to do? Sell it back to him when his life falls apart, Simpson style?
No. I'm keeping it. He's not getting it back for anything. But I figure maybe when I pass away, maybe a demon or an angel of some kind may come to me and say, "It says here you have the soul of the Woodworth," and I'll be like, "Yeah, that shit's mine. He sold it to me. I got that dude Clint. He hooked me up."
You definitely go to hell for buying a soul. They'd be like, devil himself.
No, they'd bargain with me. They'd have to do a deal with me. And I've got 2 souls instead of 1. So that first deal is clearly a trick. That first trick would be like a soul for a fucking timeshare property or something.
A cherry tomato.
Oh, I don't want that. I mean, cherry tomato might be helpful if you're in hell. But yeah, I'd like to have Woody's soul if at all possible. So if there's any like.
I've been trying to keep it good.
I doubt that. So if any of you out there who feel like you could handle this transaction in a believable and more importantly an entertaining fashion, like I would like that. I want someone wearing a black cloak, you know what I mean? And like we try to crack jokes, and he's just like, yeah, it's all very amusing, sir. Again, place your hand on the Black Bible, your right hand, yes, sir.
That's racist.
And your other on your heart.
They use the same.
Very
Bible,
good.
Kyle.
Very good.
I don't think they would.
Now
swear
repeat
on,
after me.
I don't think they swear on the Bible.
It's a black
Bible. Yeah,
Bible. Yeah, these are all those books that were removed. The book of
black people use
the book of the
Bible.
Morning Star.
Ooh, that's spooky. Yeah, I don't want that. I don't want to be around that.
I want it. No. He's wearing an upside down crucifix or something, or maybe a pentagram, and he's like bleeding when he shows up, and he's all like, "Yes, it's very amusing, sir. Once again, you are. I understand why people watch now. Again, your hand on the Black Bible, sir.
An unironic
after me.
Is like a
he starts speaking Latin, like what he's repeating after him in Latin. Oh, this could be fun.
I don't sell your soul, Woody. Don't sell your soul to the devil.
I mean, this is equivalent to bringing in a Warhammer expert to get my soul. Like this is total.
See, that's where he is
fiction.
on this.
That's,
the fact that
I just don't see it that way at all.
I don't see it that way either, and I'm not religious anymore. I'm really not. But it's one of those things where like, what if you were dying? Would you throw one up? Like, just in case you're up there. I did try to be a good man. I did do my best, and I hope you looked down and it made you proud.
If it made someone else feel good, I'd do that for sure.
Oh, see what I'm talking about, Taylor? He's just zero belief. I've got a little, like you shake the tank and you can hear some in there.
Yeah.
Woody's canteen, just sand comes out.
Yeah, I've definitely got the most of us.
Here you go, Mr. Frodo. You can have some from mine. And there's just a little left in there for me. But Woody's canteen's fucking dry on the faith. My goodness.
Yeah, I don't.
I would not sell my soul.
No, I would never sell my soul. That's a bad move.
I've seen enough Supernatural to know better.
Yeah.
There's been episodes of that.
I can't argue against that. I mean, geez, you've got to. I mean, now I'm stumped.
I mean,
now you're being ridiculous.
That's a documentary.
Yeah.
So say what you will. Just as all things are possible through God. I'm pretty sure the devil might be the good guy anyway. You know, the I feel like history's written by the victors.
Mm-hmm.
Churchill had some great quotes like
fewer
that.
people.
Yeah, the devil's absolutely not the good guy.
Churchill said something.
How many people does God kill?
I know. I think Churchill said, "History will look upon me fondly.
Lots.
I know because I'll write it," or something like that.
How many
That
people
is-
has the devil killed?
A lot.
Is
Yeah.
it? I thought it was like 3 or something.
Killed?
I can't win on biblical knowledge. I'll lose
Like
every time.
I don't. Did the devil ever kill a person? I don't think so.
Oh, like in the Bible, killing someone?
Yeah, I mean, he had a war in heaven against the other angels.
He
Like-
rebelled against God, and now the only power he has is to corrupt God's ultimate creation,
Oh, it
which is
says
man,
God.
which is causing us to stumble and not go to heaven and go to hell. And so in that way, countless people have fallen to the devil.
I'm just saying, I feel like God asks a lot, gives very little. The devil,
Eternal salvation?
that doesn't sound like fun to me. Eternal salvation? What does that even mean? Why didn't he promise like houses and like
Taylor, I'll give you
hookers?
eternal salvation for
But
$19.99.
at least I'll say this about the
No,
I'll say
you're
this
not
about
God.
I mean,
if the
You-
Muslims
you
interpretation
really want to
is
risk
right,
that? I might be.
like
No, you're definitely
72
not.
virgins. 72 virgins sounds way better than eternal salvation.
I mean, I don't know as much about Muslim belief, but I
Yeah, I don't
believe
either.
eternal salvation is also part of their doctrine.
Yeah, but they get pussy like
they have
codified in.
heaven and hell. And no, and again, I don't know enough about Islam, but I think that 72 virgin thing is only for like
Martyrs?
someone who dies, like a martyr.
Oh, fucking! I got you. I ate that bacon for you, Lord. My whole life, and it took me down.
And they took. Wait,
72 virgins.
so you're a Muslim who's eating bacon, and you're expecting
Oh, I
the
forgot
virgins?
about that. They don't like that, do they?
No.
Shit. I could.
Yeah, of all
You
the
thought they were trying
sacrifices
to
you could have
spite
made. You
Jews?
ate bacon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I ate bacon. I didn't know. Damn.
Yeah.
I got.
They would have been like, this guy just fundamentally did not understand the assignment. Like, he just really didn't get what we were going for at all here.
That doesn't seem like the kind of religion where you
The hell
plead
with
ignorance either. They just be fucked her up.
No.
Yeah. I believe just enough to not sell my fucking soul to a demon man.
Yeah,
I'm shocked that you would. That's the one I want to know. I want to know, like y'all.
See, a lot of
listeners
people
out
do
there.
this. They're like, you know what? I've lived my entire life without even the smallest shred of evidence this is true. But a lot of people say it is, so I'm gonna hedge my bets. And I don't know. I go with my gut.
I think the whole point of it is there is no evidence. That's what faith's about. So the lack of evidence.
How convenient.
What's the definition of the word? You know.
Well,
It's
I mean,
belief without evidence.
That's like what all of Christianity is and all these religions.
Trust.
It's like you're saved, or at least in Christianity, by God's grace through your faith.
I was not
not
given the
through
gift of faith. This
actions.
is really on God.
You can work on it.
No, because
It's a
he wanted to
gift.
know what kind of bear it was earlier. His mind works differently.
This does come back to the bear thing.
Like, people look at problems differently.
Oh,
Yeah.
sales are
No evidence.
Whoa. Zach, pace it. Souls are inalienable. Consequently, they cannot be sold even to the devil. Any such putative deal would be invalid before God. It would be a mortal sin to attempt such a deal, but the deal would be invalid and would not result in the transfer of ownership of the soul. Thus, the individual's soul always remains his own, and if he properly repents in such a deal before death, he no longer has the mortal sin either. Sounds like Kyle was about to get conned.
Conned.
Yeah, you can't sell a soul, but I'm gonna get I don't even
A
know what I
quarter.
was
You
getting.
you
A quarter?
agreed to like a nominal fee, so I can't get scammed. You
I thought they were
can
like
get your mortal
1995.
sin though, and I.
This is the best proof I've seen of devil yet. I'm looking at him.
I get your soul, Woody.
Yeah, you can't sell him, I guess.
You can't sell them. Not yours to sell.
Yeah. Well, even if I don't get the soul, like maybe I can be a middleman for Lord Satan, just slide it across the table to him. I know I can't handle it, maybe, but I could just sort of like wedge it
You're
over
gonna
there.
you're gonna
Even
go
to
to
the
hell
devil.
to be a middleman.
For all we know, hell is like the place
You aspire to be a middle manager.
I bet
people are in
heaven.
hell.
I bet heaven. He like plugs your soul into some sort of God machine that's giving him all of his power, and you exist as some sort of energy slave for all eternity. And he's like, salvation for all eternity, my child, my battery, my power. And you're like, God's eyes flash a little, and you realize he's not the good guy, and Jesus is like the slave master. He's like walking. He's just a jailer.
Yeah,
God.
I don't think
he's
so.
not
I
even,
think that's retarded.
And then but then someone the energy bubble next to you that's power him goes, don't worry. On the moon, Satan will come for us. He has promised this. And we're all down there like praying to Satan because he's the good guy. He didn't like God abusing humanity like this. See, God told us that Satan got jealous of mankind, but in reality, he pitied mankind because they'd been created to just be an energy source, to live painful lives, and then to die and be power.
Satan
for God.
introduced sin to humans.
Yeah, that's how it's not sin, knowledge, right? It was the tree of right and wrong, or the tree of knowledge, or whatever. That doesn't sound like the
tree
bad
of good
thing.
and evil. Yeah,
The
it
tree
was
of good and evil. Again, it sounds like Satan was showing up and saying, "Don't be brainwashed. You've got to understand the master plan. First, eat this apple." And we're like, "Holy shit, you're right." Now you got to eat this orange, and then God showed up, and we never got to eat the orange of fucking truth and darkness, or whatever the fuck.
No, they got in trouble because Satan tricked Eve into eating from the tree of good and evil.
Again, that's God's version of the story.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with God.
Are you?
Yeah.
He named himself, you know.
He named himself God.
Yeah.
Well, who else is gonna do it? There was nobody around.
I mean, he could have called himself the boss, or
He
chief,
does seem
coach.
pretty conceited,
man.
right?
He could have been
like
coach,
4 of the 10 commandments about worshiping him.
Yeah. No graven image, no God before me. My name in vain.
It's no other gods.
Dude's
no
got
idols.
a huge ego.
Don't take the Lord's name in vain. And then all the rest are like, honor your parents, don't steal, don't murder, don't envy.
Adultery's one.
Adultery, stuff like that.
Coveting thy neighbor's wife.
Man, quick. I like the pictures here.
Yeah, I appreciate
no
the
other gods
fun.
before me, no idols. Don't take the Lord's name in vain. Keep Sabbath day holy. Honor your father and mother. No murder, no adultery, no stealing, no lying, no coveting.
1, 2, and 3 are about worshiping him properly. This guy has an ego problem.
He needs the energy. My whole
God.
point. It's something about worshiping him is giving him energy, and he's using it.
Sounds like he just wants a monopoly on the con man market.
That's a very matrixy interpretation, Kyle. I don't agree with it. I don't like it.
I'm just a little worried that we're only getting one viewpoint on reality.
I'm not gonna take Satan's word for anything. He's a bad guy.
I think you need to broaden your information diet.
We didn't read his book. It'd be
like getting all your information from MSNBC. Like, I'm not going to take Fox's news for
it would
anything.
be like reading Mein Kampf and letting that be your only bit of information about Hitler. Man, they're giving this guy a hard fucking time. They locked him up for what? A little brouhaha? Jeez, how many years? Man, this guy dresses sharp too.
Like a crack in that tank would be cataclysmic. Like.
Yeah. Truthfully, I mean, the car was just struck by lightning. I'm not sure which is a bigger problem.
It's because you talked about selling your soul to the devil a couple weeks ago.
That's what it is. Things have been going wrong.
Apparently,
inside the car.
Apparently, it's hard to sell yourself soul directly to Satan himself, but there's like 16 demons or something. And I was reading up, and like each one, you would approach that demon because they provide help with X, Y, or Z. There's like the same way, like, oh, this is Saint Christopher. It's for when you lose something or whatever that nonsense is. There's like a demon for like gaining power over people, or maybe a demon for gaining possessions. There's like 16 or 18 of them.
I imagine demon that gives cash just has a line out the door, right? That like also health issues, maybe
financial value
comes to mind, but
yeah,
the health issues demon. Yeah, that seems like a risk.
Yeah, but if there's any actual demon worshippers out there who would like a fresh soul, let us know. I'm currently looking around for someone who's interested.
Looking for a good deal.
Yeah, Josh, would you sell your soul to the devil for something? Because Kyle and I are big time team. Don't sell your soul to the devil.
let me lay out the
Woody
scenario.
doesn't care. Woody treats it like it's some blasé thing.
Yeah, let me lay out the exact scenario. So
No, don't think I won't get competitive offers from the Tooth Fairy.
So I'm talking about getting a guy in the call who's an actual like demon worshiper or some sort of grand wizard of them or some such, and he enter into a contract with Woody. And meanwhile, Woody has a piece of paper that I've mailed him that has the contract written out, and then he lances his thumb, puts a little bloody thumbprint on there, whatever, and agrees to sell his soul to this man as a middleman for the devil, I suppose, or some demon, and make the whole thing official. And I was just saying, I would not do that.
No, I don't think so, man. I mean, like, theoretically, I don't remember ever having been just a soul. If you're signing this contract, that means it exists. You're going on to somewhere. If that's true, this paper proves it or whatever, then I don't want to risk the ownership of that. I don't know. I'm just going to take my odds.
The contract doesn't just prove that the buyer's stupid. If
that's the case, then sure. But I mean, if we're talking about this supernatural paranormal scenario where you're going to get this result,
that's the point. I'm not sure. No,
we don't know.
I am not sure. I am 99% sure that my soul will not then be in possession of a demonic, otherworldly being.
Oh, okay. So you're saying on the just in case.
Sure. But in case.
Yeah, this is like a PKA fan
motherfucker.
That claims
I've never had a car accident in my life. Every time, clickety click, clickety clack, buckle it up. Not selling my soul to any no.
I guess you got a good point. It's a little bit too high risk for potential reward there. I guess you got a good point. Even if you take that philosophically, if it's a 1% chance, of this eternal thing going on, then maybe you're right. Maybe you shouldn't trade it for the next 50 years of success,
Let's say that you're not selling your soul.
Mm-hmm.
That
selling somebody else's done.
Death or $10 million. It's not 50-50. 99% chance you get the cash. Would you roll the dice on that?
Nah.
How do you die?
Quickly.
Instantaneous death?
Yeah.
Do you know that you got it wrong?
It'd be like the
hit the button and fall?
Where you do sort of a painless turn into dust.
I didn't think I'd make it this far. And this.
Oh, me too.
You didn't think you'd make it to 37?
Oh, I thought
I didn't think I'd make it to 30
like 10 years ago.
I thought you were going to blow yourself up.
Every time I pulled that trigger, I was like, here we go.
You did almost die a couple times. That's true.
I figured something would happen.
I just recently saw on Twitter that video. Oh, my God.
It crops up every once in a while. And everyone's like, where's FPS Russia? I wish he would come back.
If you think of it like that, right, where like I don't even know I've gotten it wrong, I'm just gone. Yeah, why not push the button? You'll never know what happened. Either A, now you've got $10 million, or B, silence.
Ride's over.
You do that silence. A 50-50 shot. You would hit that button.
I thought he said 99.
No, I said 99-1.
Oh, 99-1.
I'd give you better odds than that, Taylor.
He'll take 75.
And I pull it twice.
That's an interesting question. How many times would you pull it? Is 10
double or I'd get my 10. I'd be like double or nothing, and the devil would be like, "What does that even mean?" Like I get an extra soul. I want a 1-up like Mario, motherfucker. I get a 1-up, extra life, up in the top right of the corner of the screen, or you get the soul and 10 million. He'd be like, "Shit,
this guy's a good bargainer."
One of those souls that I already took off somebody. I could get it if we go on a roll against Satan. Man, what do you value a 1-up as? A 1-up is worth way more than $10 million.
Yeah,
he's gonna bamboozle you. Like I don't think you want to get in a negotiating battle.
Why do you think
devil.
the 1-up is so valuable? Like what happens when you
9 lives, right? You die and then
it's like you fall over dead and then you stand right back up. Good as new.
Okay, Kyle.
And hopefully they replace the kidney failure or whatever.
You made it to 81 years old. You can hardly remember your name. You drool a little bit, and you don't walk so well. You die. Now you bounce back. You drool a little. You can't remember your name, and you don't walk so well. What kind of deal is
Mario 3, Mario World? He's running around, fucking swinging that feather thing, doing his spins. He hits one of those plants, potter plants or whatever, falls. He's little Mario again.
No, he shrinks down.
Little Kyle again. I'll die as the 81-year-old, and I'll fucking 1-up. Like and I'll be little Kyle, and I'll be like, shit, let's do this again with our $10 million. We took off $20 million. We took off
how little? Like you need to find new parents.
I want to be 8. I want to be 8 years old, because at 8 years old, you're physically strong enough to like manipulate the world around you. You could pull switches and knobs,
With an adult brain,
door handles, and everything. And but dude, you could walk right up to anybody and punch them in the dick, and they can't say shit. Not only that, you're an 8-year-old worth $20 million. You're like Macaulay Culkin. You're. It's better than anything you could imagine. Now, yeah, I'm pulling the button twice, Woody. That's my answer. I'm pulling it twice. If the devil will give me the one up and let me be childlike Macaulay Culkin who punches people in the dick with $20 million.
I don't want to be 8. I want to be 16 because I can't wait 8 years to come again.
And to come and wait. What do you mean? 8 years old? You just have to wait 3 years. You just have to.
So which is worse? Which is worse? As an 8-year-old with an 80-year-old mind, is it worse to find yourself some 9-year-old poon or to like find some pedophile out there who's down?
Ooh.
Those are both reprehensible.
I don't know. My reaction was if you're down and you have adult like competency and thought processes, you're practically doing the Lord's work by satisfying this guy's needs.
Wait, so you're not even like getting to enjoy childhood again in your own scenario?
Childhood? My brain in that body. Fuck childhood. Did you have fun?
Yeah, a lot of
let's do high school all over while we're at it. Get the hell out of here. No, we're not doing school.
You're going to be taken into a foster home and abused, and Satan will be laughing. And then they're gonna. The state is gonna claim your $20 million because they don't just let that hang out on the account for an 8-year-old.
My British lawyer, Mr. McGovern's, whatever I say, he has power of attorney over me. But my other dude, fucking Franz, he'll kill that motherfucker if he does anything I don't like. So the triumvirate that I've created with me at the head, we can do anything legally speaking as an 8-year-old millionaire.
Not at all. You're 8 years old. Franz is going to be hammering toothpicks under your fingernails until you give him the password, and then he has 20 million and you're 8.
That's just not what world are we living in where a password gives away my fortune?
A bank account, like whatever.
I've got cash. I haven't invested. I deserve to lose if I haven't invested my 20 million properly. What are we doing with a 1-up? I haven't invested. Oh, come on.
I don't know if you can have an investment account at 8.
Power of attorney.
Yeah,
he's calling the shots.
We're making all this happen.
So you have kind of a blank check situation going on here. Actually, that movie didn't pan out either.
I think that if you can prove you are earning your own living, you can like get all this adulthood stuff ahead of schedule.
Yeah,
I forget the word for it, but that's
emancipation. Like
that's about leaving your parents. No,
like a financial version.
Yeah,
I know. I hear celebrities doing it occasionally. You got those kids who are like, "You're taking all my goddamn money. What are you talking about? I'm the one in makeup at 5 a.m. since I was 7."
That used to happen to every single child star. Like,
so it's like the opposite of a conservatorship.
Yeah.
Yes. Or it would be the opposite of that. A non-conservatorship.
I know that retarded NFL player who was in that movie where Sandra Bullock.
You're gonna have to narrow it down.
He's from here. Okay. Michael Orr. Blindside.
That slow-minded NFL player who Sandra Bullock made the movie about. You know, she comes in like, "Oh, sugar, you're so big and strong. I bet you play football if you just had a white family take care of you." And he did. And he went to the NFL. And they've had a conservatorship on his ass his whole life. That movie came out when I was a kid. They just took the conservatorship off last week.
Yeah.
He's been. How long has he been in the
What
NFL?
Saints?
I don't know how long he played. I don't know his career, but I know the man like was in the NFL and the movie. See, here's the thing. Fuck the NFL. Like, unless you're like a big time guy, you're not making that crazy money. That movie made like $150 million or some shit. Mm-hmm. You know, that was a huge deal. And it's his story. It's pretty wild. He's like radio if radio could play ball.
Was there not a part of radio? I have not seen radio in so long.
No, radio
could have told me that he had some kind of skills, didn't he?
No,
radio had good vibes.
He's like Forrest Gump, basically. Oh no, Forrest could play ball. He basically in radio, Cuba Gooding Jr. went full retard, and he paid the price. You know, that didn't do very well because he can't play ball. He's more of a mascot. It's like Rudy, except they never let him play. They just cheer and lift him up on the shoulders.
Like he pushed a shopping cart around like a homeless person with like a ham radio in it. And
that's what I remember the most. He had that ham radio. At that time, I thought Cuba was a good actor because I had seen Men of Honor with Robert Downey. I can't remember. It's where he played. It's the true life story of Carl Brashear, the first African American Navy diver. And it's not like when you. It's a reconnaissance diver or not rescue. maybe it's reconnaissance, rescue, and recovery, something like that. They send them down into terrifyingly cold waters in those old timey suits. It's a really good movie. But then he made like 8 more stinkers. You ever see Snow Dogs?
I did, but I saw it when I was like 11, and so I remembered being like, "This is all right."
This is dope. Yeah,
this is
I was that
neat.
age, and then like a year later, I was like, "That's lame, man."
But I do remember seeing Radio around that same age, maybe a bit younger, and even having the perspective at that time to be like, "Ooh, this is a little ham-handed here. Like this guy's really, really retarded in a way that Forrest Gump is not even close to."
No,
like Forrest had like a half dozen pretty impressive skills. He was great at ping pong. He was really fast at football. He did what is a baffling ultra marathon across the country, seemingly. Came up, designer, the smiley face guy. That was an accident.
He was a ship's captain and a multimillionaire.
You added a book.
So he was a good investor and a ship.
That was one of my favorite parts of the story, is that Forrest was the only shrimper who was dumb enough to be out shrimping in the hurricane.
Yeah.
So his was the only boat that survived because everyone else was lost at their, moorings or whatever. And then now he owns the whole shrimp industry because he's the only one with a fucking boat left floating. I liked that little part because it kind of made sense. Some of the other stuff, it's like, I don't know. See, I'll tell you what I would sell my soul to a Crossroads demon for. Go back and make Kevin Spacey fix that last season. I want to see what was going to happen.
For one season of a show that was already bad.
Of a show that was already downhill. I want to know what Doug was going to do. I want to know if he was going to kill that bitch wife of his. I want to know. I need to see it. Bring Kevin back. Hashtag save Spacey.
I think that's
all of his accusers are either dead or gone. And
I'm not sure that proves his innocence like you're implying.
And then by the end of it, it gives you summoning rituals and what you can ask of these demons. So there's some that will give you wealth. There's some that will give you love. And again, the most demonic stories in pop culture are around, this demon wants to damn your soul to hell. They want to curse you and blah, blah, blah. But again, the way it's normally given throughout Christianity's lore is they want to give you good things. They want you to trust them. They want you to come over to their side because their ultimate goal is to point you away from what's true and holy. So because of that, there's nothing in the Lesser Key of Solomon that says, and if you do this, your house will burn down, or you have to sacrifice your firstborn. It's all like, you'll get money, and then everything will be good. Look at that. You did it yourself. And because of that, it is the most menacing. It scares me so much. The concepts of it, it bothers me. Because, you hear all these stories, like you on YouTube, how many, summoning the devil at 3 a.m. videos, whatever. All those are clearly fake. But if someone was to do like a Lesser Key of Solomon, they're like, oh, look at that. My stocks went up this week. How lovely. Absolutely not. It terrifies me. So I've thought about doing a video on that. But again, as someone who truly does believe in it, at least to a degree, I am so afraid of being like, okay, hey kids, so this is the demon's name, and here's his sigil. Be sure to draw this on your bathtub or whatever. Yeah. But
the power that a demon could have through you with your audience.
Exactly.
You could put something out there that was seemingly innocuous and get thousands of people around the world to do it. Rituals, incantations, blood, all sorts of things, sacrifices.
Yeah. He's already made me decide to spend money every day.
Yeah. I haven't remembered to pray in a minute. I'm going to be honest. I'm a little worried about that. Look, the thing is, if there was a demon out there, I like the Crossroads demons analogy or not example and Supernatural. Basically, you go somewhere to the crossroads at midnight on wherever the fuck. Demon's going to show up, make a bargain with this guy. Sort of thing like, save my baby's life. And he's like, all right, but, I get your soul in 40 years. That sort of thing. Mm-hmm. If that were available, there'd be a line. There'd be a line. There'd be a line of people TikToking their deals. Right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
There would be a reality show where the devil could make his own reality show with horns and hell in the background. Here's last season's losers, and they're back there screaming in eternal flames, and people would come right on the show and try.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
basic macroeconomics tells us that as you increase the supply, right, this line, that the deals they strike will get worse and worse. You'll be trading your soul for like a tank of gas.
It's a tank of gas that never
Economy's
runs
getting
out.
tough, Woody. You can't-
Yeah, I got had by the Crossroads demon because of inflation, soul inflation.
Eventually, they shut off the markets because the supply of souls is too much, and they don't need to intake anymore. The exporting's already enough of a hassle. It's
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the demonic Fed is raising rates.
you can have you can only have so many people who are rulers of the world. So like that's getting complicated.
Yeah, you got the demons have to be like, who wants something like less, like way less. Like we'll take
Senator?
a portion.
State senator. I got plenty of souls around here.
State senator.
I'm a
In
senator.
Wyoming.
Anytime, just let me know. We got a couple positions we can fill out. Midwest states, if you're cool with that.
Kentucky's about to open up, I think.
Yeah.
You can be the president. Hear me out. Somalia. No, I'd rather be a middle class person
First
here.
president of Somalia.
Dude, what I'm learning from this, you're saying the demons, they aren't traditionally scary in that way, which actually checks out with Christianity. Like they want to imbue you with pride or one of the sins of thinking you can get ahead. But they also help people. They do things like curing the blind by the thousands, curing the deaf by the thousands.
The deaf, yeah.
Curing the deaf, yes.
The death.
So does that make you give any more thought to the Mr. Mark of the Beast theory?
Oh, yeah. Wait, Mr. Mark of the Beast? You're talking about the Mark of the Beast from Revelations, right?
Yes, with Mr. Beast. You've seen those people on... Yeah, Mr. Mark of the Beast.
Have you
seen those people on...
I did
Have
not.
you had
I
your
should have
chocolate
picked.
yet? Have you taken it into your body yet?
Have you seen those people on Twitter? There's a bunch of people on Twitter who are...
I should have known that's where that was going, but that blindsided me. Thank you, Taylor.
Yeah, there's a lot of people online that are convinced that he's trying to pull the wool over people's eyes by pulling the wool off of their eyes.
It's interesting. No, I won't say to Mr. Beast specifically, but
I don't think so
that man, I have to give a good transition before I talk about this, or else it could get clipped so easily.
Yeah.
But not Mr. Beast, but insert another person is similar to a lot of Christian ideas around like the Antichrist, right? Like the purpose of the Antichrist is to unite the nations. It's not that the devil needs to win, he just needs God to lose, right? That's his whole purpose. So like for one, the devil's a losing battle. The devil knows it's a losing battle. He's just trying to get as many souls as he can while he's there. And what's the better way to get people's souls? By tormenting them, making their necks spin around and like float off beds, or to be an administrator of wealth and knowledge, prosperity, what have you.
Sure.
And it's interesting to see like the shift that had, because previous to, I would say, Enlightenment era, all stories around demonic activity were about that. It was always about like deals with the devil that were made, of like the devil was portrayed as like a false member of the clergy, or perhaps a ruler or a king who'd come to people and give them, wealth and wisdom. The stories like Faust, capitalize on a lot of those legends. But then after the Enlightenment era, in time where it like the religious tone shifted from God being prosperous, the devil being prosperous, but God being a true prosper in like the afterlife. Once it shifted to these kind of black and white ideas of good and evil, like the devil, pitchfork, horns, going around trying to torment people. Once that cultural idea shifted, then our stories around the devil shifted. It went from, kind of this person who wants to give you what you want into someone trying to trick you, or someone nefarious looking to cause harm or kill as many people as he can. But again, to Christianity and Judaism, that's not his MO. That's not what he's trying to do.
I could believe that about the devil. That makes sense. If you've got some sort of figurehead, he's got his own plans.
Yeah.
But what about a rogue demon? That seems more interesting to me.
So that's an interesting point. It's something I think about a lot with these things, because there, again, a lot of the stories in the Bible around demon, like he's described, around the devil, Satan's described as the morning star, right? He's described as beautiful, conniving, wise, and stuff like that. But there's also stories about unwise demons, like you said, rogue demons, just their own things. Like, for example, the story of the maniac from Gadara. He was a guy said to be possessed by thousands of demons, and he would wander the tombs cutting himself. He had broken chains because the people of the village tried to chain him, and he would snap the chains and run into the countryside. And whenever he approached Jesus, and Jesus looked at him and he fell to the ground, Jesus said, "Who art thou?" And the maniac replied,
Legion.
"We are legion, for we are many." Yeah, which is where that's why that line gets pulled into every, demonic story or whatever. And it says that Jesus banished the demons from him, and the demons went into swine that were in the countryside, and the swine ran off a cliff like they were crazed. So that's very different from the conniving, dealing devil. That's just like wild animals.
That's what Constantine does. If you watch the movie Constantine with Keanu Reeves, now I'm sure they made this shit up for the fucking movie. They're like, so maybe we just throw the demon in like a pig and then kill the pig. No, they threw it in a mirror and then shattered the mirror. I saw a movie recently with who used to the Gladiator guy. He's fat now. Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe made this movie like this year called The Pope's Exorcist. Yes, and I'm sure it's based on probably the last official Catholic exorcist or whatever. Probably, I don't know, but it's it's a silly movie. But at one point, he takes the demon and puts it in a pig and then kills the pig. And I can't remember if it was a real demon or if it was just to, go through the ritual for the mentally ill kid there. I can't remember if they said which it was, but I like both of those ideas a lot. I like the idea that we could maybe, and that's what happens in The Exorcist. Spoiler alert: his father, Karras, was it? Like lets the demon into his body and then throws himself out the window. Yeah. Did he throw himself out, or did the demon throw the body out because it couldn't stand to be within the pure body of the priest?
I think the demon threw his body out.
It couldn't cohabitate in a body, so that also had God in it, perhaps.
Yeah,
I like that
because Pazuzu shows up in the sequels, right? So then canonically, it would be that the demon threw him out.
What's his name? Blatty is the writer, I think. He's got three names: William Blatty or whatever the fuck. Exorcist 3 is the true kind of sequel. If you've ever seen that, it's tremendous. It's very good.
Good movie.
Yeah. And I don't know. The demon, of course, wouldn't tell you whether he lost or won in the first movie, I suppose. But if you know what happened, it seems like he pretty much won.
The priest is dead. The demon isn't.
Yeah. And the priest suffers for all that time. Like this, just having to watch behind the eyes as he kills children and does all sorts of horrible things.
Are there any world leaders now, maybe of religious groups or whatever, that you look at and you're a little wary of? You seem a little
Taylor Swift,
a little demonic. I think Taylor Swift. She does have a good reputation.
She did the thing.
She did the thing.
Did she?
Wait, what does that thing mean, Wendy?
Oh, that's just Illuminati or
that means she's going to eat that redhead from Game of Thrones' pussy. That's what that means.
I was mixing it up with Kyle. I thought that was the vagina sign. I see it's slightly different.
I thought it was
only slightly.
Yes, because it's evil. Because ox is dangerous.
It is actually interesting. It is interesting how much in old folklore that I know we're joking about it, but in a lot of old folklore it was explicitly described as demonic. It's an evil. It's part of women's curse, of Eve, that a part of the devil is embedded with her. There's a lot of imagery around this being explicitly demonic.
Yeah.
Oh, that's no good.
We've all seen Alien, okay? And we know the vaginas are bad. They mean death.
What about the Pope? What's he up to? Do we need to keep an eye on him?
I'm not a big fan of Catholicism. I mean, I've been open about this before. I'm not a big fan of Catholicism. I don't like the idea of you have a religion and now you're all right, we got that whole God thing, but let's just we can run it. Let's put ourselves in charge, So, I wouldn't say demonic or anything. I think that Catholic beliefs still, at its core, align with Christianity as far as the beliefs of Jesus and redemption. It's everything after that I'm not a fan of.
As far as demons know, your demon knowledge, Wendigo.
Yes.
You've looked into it a ton. What's an indicator to you when you're reading a demon story that you're this is made up, this is fake? And what are the ones that get you oh, I kind of buy this. I think this could be a real one.
So the thing that's like, as someone who like, believes in it, like I'm a Christian, I'm not like some levels of religious Christians will get to where it's like recently I covered a video game called Faith that revolves demons, and talking to the creator, he's like, yeah, I get emails all the time from people who think if you put like a pentagram in a game, you're going to hell. Like, obviously that's not the level I'm at.
Yeah.
You've seen the content I cover. But as far as like reading stories about demonology or whatever, it's typically the theatrics of it. For that same reason, I believe possessions can happen, but I believe that like 99% of them are fake. Because a demon's MO, or like within Christianity, right? Like the devil's MO isn't to scare people or be weird and strange. Like he's not just creeping around like, hoo-ha, they're going to be so afraid of this one. That's what most like demon stories revolve around. It's just to divert people. It's just to point them away from God or Christianity or what have you. Most examples of demonic influence throughout like the Bible or old like, religious traditions aren't even people who are like, frothing at the mouth, possessed, yelling obscenities. That's not even what they do. Most of what they do is just being like leaders, people who will, take the poor and the hungry and push them back to some righteous way until eventually bringing them into cult activities or what have you. I would say that in my belief, there's a lot more possessed people in places of power or what have you than there are like, satanic cult members. Like the Church of Satan and the Satanic Bible, and that's just poser stuff. That's all a joke. But the real stuff, so to speak, is just manipulation.
$50 wasted.
Yeah.
Lifetime membership fee for Kyle. There's like Rube.
I pay dues, God damn it! This is horse shit.